as we all know, the Japanese are not very happy with Ubisoft right now. This comes from the 28th of June. Colonel Otaku Gatekeeper, who is a Japanese nationalist, anti-communist, and a great follow if you're interested in things going on over in the East. He's one of the accounts that I follow that really keeps me up to date with stuff that's going on in the East, which is something that I care about. On the 28th, he posted here on Twitter, Wikipedia has now removed the ability to alter Yasuke's Wikipedia page. None of the sources they used to justify the false claim that Yasuke was a samurai are Japanese. They are all Western. Leftists are the masters of historical revisionism. If we jump in here and we look, the things that they're citing here, a book by Lockley mentioned several times above, several academic reviews of Lockley's book, the book by Lopez Vera linked in the previous comment. In case you guys didn't know, the Japanese language doesn't have any L sounds, so I highly doubt Lockley or Lopez Vera are Japanese, or it would be Rokkari or Lopez Vera, something like that. I don't know. I'm very bad at Japanese. But see, and they say, conversely, we have not a single reliable source that says explicitly he was not a samurai, or that even suggests he might not have been. Not one. Well, the problem with that is they're not Japanese. Afterward, Grums had commented, he said Wikipedia is locking down the Yasuke entry. Lockley's book is the source of the samurai theory. Many of the other sources they cite are all drawn from the book. It's a circle jerk of Western justification. And this is another instance where we see just consume the slop kind of stuff coming out, right? They want us to not even be able to escape to the East and to other cultures, to escape the DEI trash stories and revisionist history that they're constantly trying to force down on us. So they're going after it all over the world. This isn't just a Western thing. Everybody is in the target on this one. And the Japanese are pushing back. Huboken S10 has commented here and said, a petition has been started calling for the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows to be canceled. Everyone please cooperate. And he's got the kanji characters here for last name and given name because this is a Japanese man who is sharing this to the people of the world, and he wanted to make sure that people would be able to sign this petition in case it showed up for them in Japanese. Before we go look at the survey directly though, let's jump over to here to That Park Place. Japanese gamers launched petition to cancel Ubisoft's upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows game. This is a serious insult to Japanese culture and history. Japanese gamers have launched a petition to have Ubisoft cancel their upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows game. As translated via Google's machine translation, the petition created by Shimizu Toru states recently lack of historical accuracy and cultural respect has been a serious problem for game developer Ubisoft, which is scheduled to release Assassin's Creed Shadows. This game is based on the samurai of Japan, ignoring the fact that the samurai is the upper class of the samurai class. I think it would be the upper class of the political class, and should be my family or a person who serves you. So yeah, something's lost in translation there, because the samurai were a political class and a warring political class. It adds, in fact, William Adams, Miura Prodor, the first European to receive the title of samurai, was the one who served Tokugawa Ieyasu as the flag book for 250 stoning. Yeah, this stuff is getting a little bit lost in translation. The petition then declares, in such history, Ubisoft continues to misunderstand the essence and role of samurai. This is a serious insult to Japanese culture and history and can lead to racism in Asia. It then calls on Ubisoft to stop developing the game. We call on Ubisoft to immediately discontinue the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows and show sincere research and respect for Japanese history and culture. But if we jump back over here to Twitter real quick, here's something you rarely see. This is a conversation, okay? I know we don't see a lot of these on Twitter, But I did read over this one a little bit, and I found it interesting because it does seem a little bit like this Roderick Royale guy is trying to understand, maybe. He's at least having a good faith conversation to a point with a Japanese man. He says, "Why? Can someone refer me to someone that's actually mad so they can tell me why? LOL. Hubuken, Ubi is trying to make a false history a historical fact with this work. Japanese people are angry not only about Yasuke, but also because their culture is spreading the lie that Japanese people are headhunters." Roderick says, "What culture is spreading a lie?" Hubuken says, "For example, in the gameplay video, the clothes of the residents of the castle town are from about 400 to 500 years before the main story. During this period, clothes with bold European patterns called Momoyama Kosode were the mainstream." He says, "The cinematic trailer includes a part of a scene that there was a port town called Sakai, which was a center of trade between Europe and China, and its residents wore European clothes and accessories on a daily basis. The residents are not wearing foreign clothing in the trailer footage." Roderick says, "So should the whole game be canceled? I don't know, I just can't feel the outrage. I could understand not playing it, I guess, but I don't know." Hobuken then says, "Ubi staff say Japanese people at the time routinely killed each other, and most of them were beheaded. Those who were beheaded were high-ranking people in times of war. This was common behavior all over the world. They are spreading lies that our ancestors were headhunters. This is a discriminatory remark not only towards Japanese people, but also towards actual headhunters." And Roderick said, "So do you think this game is genuine propaganda?" Hubuken says, "Of course, this is a propaganda work that instills a sense of racial superiority and discrimination in the people, similar to the Nazi Olympia." So you're saying Ubisoft is attempting to install a sense that black people are superior to Japanese and discrimination against who? The Japanese? And I don't know what Nazi Olympia is. Nazi Olympia is a film chronicling the 1938 Berlin Olympics. This movie uses movies and the Olympics to promote the Aryan race as the world's most superior race. Ubi said in an interview in Italy that the reason they chose Yasuke was because Japanese people are small, which makes them look bad. This is to make people think that Japanese people are physically inferior to black people. The bodies of Japanese people during this period differed depending on their family and background and region. The imperial court and aristocrats were short in height because of their nutritionally unbalanced diets. However, since the days of Ghost of Tsushima, military commanders fighting in the front lines have been eating a lot of animal meat and selecting women with good physiques to have children with. So there was a Japanese samurai who was the same height as Yasuke. I'm not sure what this says just because I don't have the translation up and going right now. But we could probably get it translated here. Yeah, here we go. One of Oda Nobunaga's retainers, Shibata Katsui, was 185 centimeters tall. Asakura retainer Magara Naotaka was 210 centimeters tall, and swordsman Miyamoto Musashi was 180 centimeters tall. That translation does seem about right to me. But, as you can see, somebody comes in here at the end. You should stop responding. The other guy is a woke pro-Ubisoft partisan. You will never win him over. But it seems like the guy did kind of stop responding anyway. It's hard to argue Japanese history with a Japanese person. Go over there and read the rest of this article, because we're not going to read it all here. But it is a great article, kind of touching on a lot of the stuff going on. Now, if we jump over here and we look at the petition, as you can see, this is actually in Japanese. Now, I have not read this yet because I did not translate it. But I've got several of the responses here as well, and we will look over some of these high-rated ones and just see what the Japanese people are saying. If we go up here and we translate this to English, boom. All right, call for the discontinuation of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Why this petition matters. Recently, lack of historical accuracy and cultural respect has been a serious problem for game developer Ubisoft. This is what we just read in the That Part Place article. Okay, so it's the same thing. It does have the translated kind of missteps there, but that's what we can expect with AI translation. So let's go down here to some of the supporters. You can forgive it with fiction, but it's absolutely impossible to just drip 800 lies, such as faithful to history. Yasuke was a great black samurai. If left untouched, and this is believed to be a history, the Japanese would have hidden that the blacks were so great as samurai as Japanese are discriminating against blacks. It is visible that it is said. Rather than that, the overseas momentum of the net has already come to play with it. This is a tampering with Japanese history and an insult to the Japanese and clear discrimination against Japanese. Then we have this one here. I was a fan of the Assassin's Creed series, but it was announced it was a black man and a polycolorist push called LGBTQ+. So see, I think this is something that maybe they're really just figuring out about the cult over there now that it's attacking their historical culture. Yasuke depicts it as a bowed samurai, treating it as a historical figure, heroizing blacks and spreading false history to the world. The false history of this Yasuke appears to be due to Thomas Rockry's. See, there is no L sound. I told you guys. There's no L sound in Japanese. So that's why it's Thomas Rockry's book, Nobunga and the Black Samurai, who survived Yasuke Honji Temple. Already, this false history has been spread abroad, and there was a statement in the tweet of the Brazilian embassy in Japan that heroic Yasuke. This is a history tamper. I can't overlook it silently. Moreover, looking at the game content and the manufacturer's support, I didn't feel much respect for Japan. I can't enjoy watching the black samurai kill the Japanese. I object here. And, you know, some of these things, the translation gets lost, but we have to translate because Nihongo ga skoshi wakarimasen. I don't understand very much Japanese. Here, I have to say that it's a fantasy without saying it's a history. Is it hard to say? I'm going to rewrite Japanese history. I'm going to put on the slavery that white people were doing in Japan. I hate... I'm sorry, I feel like being plagiarized by culture. Racist UBI. I will never forget. So, racist Ubisoft. As you can see, the Japanese really are upset with this. And, you know, one of the main points that I take from this that I was upset about was the fact that this is the first Assassin's Creed game where they do try to actually make you play as a character from history instead of alongside a historical character. That's always been one of the charms of the Assassin's Creed games, is you play as this unknown character in the shadows who helped historical things happen to a point, right? And that was fun. But now forcing you to become a historical character and to take that and bastardize it and turn it into something that it's not and spread that to the world while also changing up Wikipedia and all of these other sources to try to say that this game is telling more truth than trying to discount what you've said in protest to that by saying, oh, look, we took all these Western sources. Well, it's unfaithful. And it's another reason why we just have to stop supporting Ubisoft and all of these companies that are trying to force all of this crap down onto us. Because if they can make it to where we have no escape, then we've got nothing else to turn to, and eventually we will just consume the slop that they're throwing in front of us. But we're not going to do that, are we? I'm Hayden75. Thanks for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Tell me what you thought, what you think of this situation, and what you thought of the video itself. And we will see you guys in the next one.